You're
Yes, fine. I just start.
okay. Yeah, thanks, Prashant. Yeah, hi. Myself, Anindra, and based out of Singapore. And I was currently working with an Abistoki. Abistoki is a gold consulting partner company. So we are currently working with an Asian region, especially Southeast Asia and India, as well as Ireland, and some of the customers which are sitting in UK and US as well. Primarily, I was not only for a technology head, and I'm mostly into delivery. I look for all the operations across the Southeast Asia for Epistoki and working with all the products across Salesforce. I work with all the products apart from few education cloud and all, because education cloud where some of the folks are pro in my company. But I was covering most of the product. My core competency was Salesforce, and I was so core deep understanding with AWS as well. AWS is my primary skill, and Salesforce is my secondary skill. And I'm completely working with a couple of machine learning technologies as well, something RPA, different kind of an RPA tool that I've leveraged, and build some kind of a sophisticated customer user stories as well. Pretty much that's it from me, Baya. Let's jump into the session today. And again, I would like to give a big thanks to Prashant to give an opportunity, and then demonstration on one of the B2B marketing analytics app that can drive for sales and marketing get together, and then gain some good business deals and get some experience on analytics as well. So let me share my screen without any delay, and I can walk you through how the setup process and what are all the. I'll go through deep into a deep dive, guys. Any questions? Please stop me, and then you can ask me any questions. Okay, so can you see my screen, team? Can someone confirm me?
Yes, yes, Connie, we can.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think that was my complete bio. And if anyone want to get in touch with me and ask me any questions related to Salesforce, again, I said the core competencies with all the microservices integrations, especially on Marketing Cloud, CDP, B2C commerce, Sales Service Cloud, Experience Cloud, and all this high fancy Salesforce ecosystem elements. So I have my personal blog. You can go and then follow me as well. So I'm going to produce all the high level content with related to the Marketing Cloud and with related to the platform as well. Yeah, let's go to the agenda. So today we're going to talk about a quick overview about B2B marketing analytics as well as setup. And after that, they're going to take about manipulating data and building lenses. And after that, I'm going to showcase how to create a data sets for different, maybe as per your industry use cases, right? So your customer comes up with saying that different analytics that they want to see. So we're going to showcase the creating of the data sets, joining of the data sets, building of the data sets, and building of the data dashboards. And I'm going to talk about a couple of best practices as well. When you want to build any kind of a dashboard for any customer, so what are all the best practices that we should follow? And a couple of helpful resources, questions and answers. And at the last, we're going to talk about a couple of any open question that the team has, or else we can directly jump into questions and the quiz, which is really good. And probably you guys can, win some certification and cool specs as well. Yeah. Yep. Let's go to the complete overview on the setup of the B2B marketing analytics. So past couple of years where I think I know most of the folks are Pardot geeks and experts here. When we working with Pardot, so we know when the day one when we see Pardot product, we see an amazing saying that we have engagement platform, we have automations, we have segmentations, we have dynamic list and static list and all other fancy stuff. But now the day product has been evolved and the day currently we are, it's been evolved a lot. So it comes with business units, it comes with analytics, comes with all influence model, it comes with Einstein, everything is a package now. Okay, you see here as a top level dashboard that what B2B is going to be provide. So it's four basically, one with the pipeline, the other one with an engagement, other one with marketing manager, and the last one multi-touch attribution. So I'm going to talk about all four in detail. when I'm going to jump into a deep dive. So these are all the 4 major dashboards as an out of the box what B2B marketing analytics gives. But before you can look at the setup, I'm going to talk about a couple of setup details as well. Let's see a couple of let me jump and show you some deep dive as well. So before we're gonna jump into, right, so I'm gonna showcase some dashboards or the product pricing details. If you want to see the what is the costing of the Pardot B2B marketing analytics, the question comes up with is it comes with the normal edition that if a customer purchase, if you want to purchase a Pardot edition, either growth plus advanced and premium. So question comes up with, oh, if I want to purchase growth, can B2B comes with a free for package as a free of add-on. This is a slide. This is the information where it can help you out, but let me post you with the same thing as well, so you guys can take a look as well. So complete pricing sheet, and from here you see all the information about each and every license of Pardot, and on top of it, it gives you details about add-ons. The add-ons which is comes up on top of the Pardot, Salesforce Engage, engagement history dashboards, B2B marketing analytics plus. And in terms of especially B2B and the feature comparison, you can see here growth plus advanced and premium. You can see under here, you could check what is the right edition for you. Salesforce will give you the B2B marketing analytics. If you purchase basic growth one, you will not get the B2B marketing analytics. You have to purchase either plus, advanced or premium. Then only you will get the B2B marketing analytics add-on freely. But some customer says that no, we don't have a budget. We will still go with the growth. You still go with the growth, but you can purchase an add-on with the cost of this B2B marketing analytics. So that's the process how it works. On top of which, it automatically comes up with the 5 free licenses of the B2B marketing analytics if you want to purchase any of the edition more than the normal growth edition. We have a growth, right? If you purchase anything more than growth, B2B will come automatically, and then it gives you the 5 licenses of the Einstein B2B marketing analytics. So the 5 permission sets, nothing but, right? Apart from this, so there is a difference between B2B marketing analytics, B2B marketing analytics plus as well. The B2B marketing analytics plus will give you some more dashboards which comes with this kind of analytics. So you can access with the predictive recommendations. The normal B2B marketing analytics doesn't come with the Einstein predictions or recommendations, but the plus will comes with Einstein predictions and recommendations with an account-based marketing campaigns and the performance of how they perform with the key customers with ROI and other relationship as well. So that is a major difference between B2B marketing analytics as well as B2B marketing analytics plus. So this is a cheat sheet, guys, which talks about all the feature comparison. So if you want to purchase a partner going forward with your customer, please feel free to look into sheet before you're going to purchase and get some idea about it, and then talk to the account executives. Okay, so let me go to the, once you understand this comparison, now as a customer, I'm okay to purchase the Pardot edition, either growth or plus. So what I do on is I'll reach out to the account executive. I'll ask them to enable the Pardot edition to my production arc. Then I'll come to this screens. Now, AE comes to me and saying that, Funny, your account has been activated by Pardot. So you have to go and then assign and leverage the Pardot B2B marketing analytics. So as a next step, as a Pardot admin or as a Salesforce admin, what I need to do was I'll go here and I can quickly check the licensing has been activated or not. You click on company information and then you have to come here. You have to check down here, analytics embedded app. This is one of the permission set. The other one is a B2B marketing analytics. You see here, the B2B marketing analytics, I got a 6 licenses total. Because we are a partner with Salesforce, we got some CTO licenses. So those licenses we could leverage here, and we have used 3 licenses for 3 users. This is one of the permissions that are required in order to enable the B2B marketing analytics. You have to check this first. Okay, now it states that the B2B marketing analytics has been enabled for your production arc. What you have to do is in the next step, you have to go and then enable the WCRM, nothing but Analytics Studio. What you have to do is you have to go to the analytics, click on getting started, and then you have to enable the WCRM. Here you see one option, right? Enable WCRM. You have to click on enable WCRM. Once you click on enable WCRM, automatically here you'll get an option Analytics Studio to access your B2B analytics, or you access Analytics Studio. Okay. Now we have not turned the B2B analytics. So far, you enable the analytics platform. That's it. So as a next step, what you have to do is you have to go and then check the settings of your entire analytics. So this settings talks about your data sync connections. Data sync connections, nothing but every app, guys, not only for the B2B analytics. Nowadays, all Einstein comes with their own data sets, own data connected apps. Nothing but a sales Einstein, service Einstein, and event monitoring app analytics, and couple of industry oriented analytics app has been given out of the box. So every company, when they purchase any Einstein Analytics embedded app, they have to come here. They have to click on data sync and connections. Why? Because every app has been connected to the local object in Salesforce. Without connecting or without enabling this data, your app won't work. The complete sync will going to stop it. Okay. So make sure when you do a setup, come here, click on enable data sync and connections. This is one of the major. Okay. The other things are, especially in Pardot, everybody know every system, every third-party system when you work with, right? So how you connect the data seamlessly to connect with third party, either it's an APIs, right? So in Salesforce also, Pardot is a product, of course, but in order to get the information from all the websites, the Pardot engagement metrics or the Pardot multi-touch attribution, everything, you have a campaign influence model. You have to go to the campaign influence settings. You have to enable your complete opportunity detail page or the API, because this is one of the information that indirectly connected to the API information. That's where we have to go and then enable the both campaign influence as well as additional campaign influence models as well. So this step is really important in order to get the right analytics, in order to get the right dashboards. Okay. Now we enable Analytics Studio. Point number 2, we enable the relevant pre-configured step to create a Pardot.B2B marketing analytics app. Okay. Now we can enable or turn on B2B analytics now. Just go here, B2B marketing analytics, click on getting started. Okay. Now here you can see, here you'll get an option normally, but I have already enabled. So you'll get a click on enable. Once you get it, then here you can get the manage assignments. Nothing but whom you assign the B2B marketing analytics permission set. See here, the B2B marketing analytics permission set, I assign to maybe three users, one with mine, one with my integration user, and one with the other integration user, right? It's the same thing. Once you enable the permission set for your internal Pardot.admins, what you have to do is you have to check whether you enable enable W as well. So when the first step that what I've done is I've enabled W, right? So that step is covered here. The next thing is creation of the B2B analytics app. Let's go and then let's do it. How you can create a B2B analytics app. As I said, once you set up everything, you have to go and then click on Analytics Studio. Click on create, click on app, because we have to create analytics app. Once you click on app, there's a template which I've told you. Sorry. Any questions, guys?
No, fine. You can continue.
Okay. Yeah. So you can see here, I'm gonna turn on the B2B marketing analytics, and I'm going to create an app for B2B marketing analytics to showcase all the dashboard that what I've shown here. This IC pipeline engagement, all this, right? So out of the box, Salesforce build one template. The template, based on this template, when we create this template automatically, you see all these dashboards will be displayed. That is an out of the box, and Salesforce already given for us. Just click on continue. From here, you can see all this B2B marketing analytics overview and what are all the features, what are all the objects and optional dashboard that B2B leverage, right? And then click on continue. Once you click on continue, you see here, it automatically picks once. I already have an app here. So I already configured before I'm gonna, before jumping into this session, I created one. So There are two steps saying that every release, as you're aware of it, Salesforce release all the new features for every product. Every product somehow, somewhere, somehow, Salesforce is doing something good for all the customers based on the feedback, based on the idea exchange. So this is a good step for everyone to, if any feature comes into the existing B2B marketing analytics app, it's an easy step. You can come here and then click on the existing app rather than the new app, so that all the features that what Salesforce implemented as a part of this release will be applicable, and it automatically retrofit to the existing app, right? This is a way to reconfigure the app, but I'm showing you the connected as well, but it is a same way for reconfigure as well. Okay, so once you click on continue, guys, what will happen is automatically this entire process take at least an hour, and then you can monitor all this entire data flow, all this app. You need to check it out, right? You created an app, but you should understand whether the app has been created or not. So in order to check that entire status or the monitoring, you have to click on the data manager. See here in data manager, you can see the respective analytics app that what I created. So this will run automatically, and you see the respective data sets that what is being given.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, network issues.
Any
You
questions?
can continue.
Okay. So you see here automatically in the backend, the data flow will runs. The data flow is nothing but the one which is, you can see here, the B2B marketing analytics. This is the one which I created, and this automatically runs. This is just a data flow which can combination of the local objects as well. As you can see, this is the opportunity, and this is a nothing but a digest. Digest is nothing but a nodes in Salesforce, a typical ETL transformation language. Each and everything we can calling as different digits and different nodes as well. So this is the complete flow that what Salesforce automatically built for us. We no need to do anything. Salesforce built for us. What we have to do is we have to go and then use this flow. I ran the flow. Once I ran the flow successfully, what will happen is I can go back to my Tableau and I can click. I can see any application has been created with the name of B2B. You can see here an app has been created. Inside the app, you can see the dashboards, the 4 dashboards: multi-touch, marketing, engagement, pipeline. So the same that what I've shown and explained, this is the way the resulting output that comes once you set up the B2B marketing analytics. Okay. Coming to the next one. So these are all the data sets, guys. So the data sets comes up with emails, templates, forms, form landing pages. So this is the common element that everybody know inside Pardot, the respective opportunities, campaigns, tags, visitors, and many more. I'll showcase the data sets as well. You see how many data sets that has been created out of the box: prospect, visitor, tags, opportunities, landing pages, emails, contacts, events, and campaign influence model, multi-touch attribution, prospect, and activity. So these are all some of the data sets has been automatically created by Salesforce. And by using this data sets, these dashboards has been built. Okay. I'll go dig deep into it, but I'll just want to show as per this presentation. Yeah. So that's a basic of setup and how you people can go and then set it up your marketing analytics and enable analytics platform for the first time. And to understand what is the out of the box analytics app has been given for us. So this is the value, the one which what Salesforce has been explaining all the times. This is the value for the B2B marketing, and it automatically gives you the flexible dashboards as per the industry best practices, as well as the data from any source, actionable insights as well, right? Any questions so far, guys?
Yes, Funny, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we can control access to our app that, suppose if I want to give just view access to some users, is this possible?
It is possible. So what we can do is, so two things actually. So you can manage using a security predicates. So in dashboards, we have an option called security predicates at field level that I can showcase in the later point of time. The other way is in the permission set level. So in Salesforce, we have a permission sets enabled. So let me go through it if they have a permission sets. One with the B2B marketing analytics admin, one with the user level. User is nothing but a view only, and the main permission you can see analytics view only user. Just give this analytics permission to the corresponding person. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
That answers my question. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. See the other things. Yeah. See the other things that what I'm explaining here is like when we have a out, everything has been given by Salesforce, but the question comes up with how are you manipulating the data? Of course, I'm going to manipulate the data based on the customer requirement, but I want to check it out and want to explain. There are some requirements where people will ask me, funny, I think I want to bring two data sets. Maybe I want to bring something like a new lenses has to be built. The lens is nothing but inside every dashboard there are some lenses available, nothing but if I can click on this dashboard, right, this entire part is nothing but one lens. Actually, when I click on edit, right, so I can showcase what is lens inside. So this part is entire part is a lens, one lens. Actually, this is one more lens, this is one more lens. So these are key deviators for each and every entire dashboard, which contains multiple lenses, but each and every lens has a key deviators for each and every dashboard or every lens that can talk about parallelly. If I click on something, right, so automatically it will be gives all the information about. Let's suppose, let's take this. I can just go back. So here, if I can go a little bit, like I click on this, right, so it automatically give you all the details about the information. Or when I just do this, or when I click on something like maybe if I'm choose the respective campaign that what I'm going to talk about, maybe email plugin, so it automatically give you the details about the email plugin details, because that campaign I don't have any information for that campaign. So that's where the lenses will help you out to transformation of your each and every dashboard. Along with it gives you some glimpse on each and everything, right? So this is where you can define the goal as per the requirement. So my customer comes up saying that I want to calculate the average sales revenue based on so and so campaign. So what I can do is I'm gonna pick the right data set. So there are so many data sets available, but I need to check what data set is really connected or what is really needed for the customer to define the goal. And apart from this, I want to have some measures and groupings as well. And after that, I want to bring some visualization on top of it, right? So measures and grouping is nothing but this is the measuring. The open rate is a measure rate, right? Opt out measuring, undelivered, bounce, spam, and all these calling as a measures. So once you build a lens, so here it is how to define a goal. And also I'm going to talk about what kind of metrics is typically when when a client comes and saying that the first question for the sales saying that it's organization wide metrics, saying that, hey funny, I want to have a lead generation metrics, conversion metrics, number of closed opportunities. The same question comes up with, hey, this can be provided by Salesforce as well. As an admin, I can build this simply using standard reports. Of course you do it, but you can't able to manage to bring out the campaign level metrics, right? So that you could do it inside B2B. Along with, you have some more details about your trends, your bounce rates, your spam complaints, pipelines, engagement metrics, and there's always a room for improvement. So you could find out based on the campaigns, you could find out the list of opportunities and what is the loss opportunities, own opportunities, underperforming emails, and all this stuff. So that's a goal that I would like to define. And after that, I want to find out the right data set. You define the goal. Let's find out the right data set to calculate your measures, to calculate your group by information. I have so many data sets, but I'm going to pick it out the right data set for my requirement as per the goal defined. So I'm going to pick the data set and then I'm going to define the measures as well. After that, I'm going to choose the respective data sets. What complete data sets available inside marketing. So there are so many, out of which you could look the current one that what I've explained earlier. So this is the measuring nothing but like you entire marketing team saying that so I want to have an average open rate, average delivery rate, or opt-out rate, spam complaints, and total bounce, and all the stuff. So by default, for the respective data sets, you have the information, delivery rate, opt-out rate, spam, and total as well. Use these measures to calculate the best measuring as well. I'll showcase that as well. Again, the visualization. Once you find the data sets, find the groupings and measures, then you can build a different visualization using different charts available. We have so many charts available in Einstein. You could pick the right chart and then you could just build it. Let's go deep into it. So I'm going to pick the right data sets here. So we have created an app. And as I said, if you want, you could reconfigure this app as well with just a simple click. You can go back to your app and then you could reconfigure with the same as well. If any new release comes from Salesforce, you could do it at the same time. You could check the data sets here. So here I can see the prospect visitors, opportunities, landing pages, forms, form handlers, emails. So I'm going to define a goal where my customer asks me something like to find out the email rates and the delivery rate of the respective information. So for this, I'm going to pick the respective, the right data set. Maybe I'm going to pick the part.emails. So here I see I have 7 emails has been done. So out of which I'm going to choose, or maybe I'm going to put, or I'm going to choose one more, the unique, or I'm going to pick the average of the open rate or delivery rate or the opt-out rate. You can see I'll get the average of open, delivery, opt-out, spam, total bounce and all. So what I can do is I'm going to choose the unique of total clicks. So I can see my unique clicks are nothing but 7, or total 7 is a counter for my unique clicks are out of which is a 4, but I'm going to remove this total count better. So I can see my unique clicks only 4, and I'm going to choose the respective campaign that what I'm going to talk about. So it's a VCFO campaign, out of which I'm going to talk about a couple of other, maybe I'm going to put my stats date when this was happened, maybe year, month. So maybe on July, Feb and December, I have some information about 2020 December. So there are 2, and once I define some measures, so what I can do, I can have a charts available, which I'm gonna leverage for different kind of a charts. If I want to just stack, I want to use columns, or I want to bring something like just an average of the ratings and any guard charts I have. So based on his information, I'm gonna pull the respective details, right? So this is way that you can it's just a sample, but out of which you can do a lot of wonders inside. You can have filters, you can have queries, you can write some queries as well using SQL, and you could have lot many information to be built as well. So this is the process where you could leverage the right data set from the analytics, and then find the goal and then put the best out of which, and have the measures and impacts and the group by information, and then you could build a complete dashboard as well, right? So let's go back. Any questions so far? Okay. Yep. So let's find out the common question comes up with that's okay. You have an existing data sets available, but the question comes up with is it okay if you could create a new data set? Because my requirement where I don't think so. All this data set which doesn't gives me any kind of information. Of course, you've given me a lot of dashboards here, engagement, account based marketing and all. But on top of it, I want to build something new. This is out of the box. I want to build something new as per the requirement of the customers. So then the only option that we have is to create a new data sets. Creation of the new data set is the different types. So you can create a new data set using a CSV file. You can upload the data into data set, or you can use a Salesforce as a local object, nothing but you can go and then you have a data manager, and what you can do, you can connect the local data as well. Suppose I want to bring some information about, you can see local objects. I want to connect data to Salesforce, my local Salesforce. Then what I can do is I'm going to bring somewhere around maybe I'm going to bring opportunity also is there. Let me bring products, the product information. And here I'm going to choose what are all the fields that I want in order to enable product, maybe created date, product family, and what else? Product SKU, and the product description, created date, last modified date. I want all these details to be available in my dataset, quantity of measures, client source, and I click on continue. So when I click on continue, I'll get an option to preview the data. So I have some information, I have some data available. Oh, sorry. I have some data available. I got to know, I think, quantity of measure. I don't require these 3 fields because they don't have any data. I'll just go here and then I'll try to remove this quantity of measure. I click on continue. I click on save. So once I click on save, so what will happen is it automatically create a data set. You can see under product, The product is the gray color icon, which nothing but this data has not been synced with Einstein. So what you have to do is, upon creation of this thing, what you have to do is you have to go here and then you have to run the data sync. First time when you create any local data set, you have to run a full sync. Next time onwards, you have to do an incremental sync. You can automate this entire local data sets as well. You see here, currently the SFDC local is one of the sync. That's where initially when I turned on one setting under Einstein, I turned on one setting, right? Sync connections. That setting is nothing but this one. Without that connection, you can't able to sync the data of the local objects as well. You see, click on refresh and then get you the details about this product. It's failed. See why it's failed? Flean clone source side is not available. Please verify the field exists and then Analytics Cloud integration user profile has read level access. So nothing but this product have and don't have a permissions for a corresponding B2B marketing analytics profile or the permission set that what I'm using for this. They don't have an access for it. So what you have to do is I have to create a new permission set specially and then enable the read level access at least at the product level object and then try to run again. Right? But I'm going to pick any one of the existing data set that what I have. Users opportunity, which is already synced. You see green color, nothing but it's properly synced and successfully done. So this opportunity in the back and you can see under data sets as well, under opportunities. You see here the opportunities, one of the opportunity ABM opportunities. So this is one of the data set. So this is the way that you can create a data set as well. One with you could import the CSV file into Salesforce into Einstein. The other one with the other one with to create a data sets via local Salesforce objects. Okay. The other one with the raw data set from any of this third party, right? There are so many third party connections. So a lot of third party, nothing but if I go to the data manager, I click on connect. I connect to the data. I have a lot of connections. So currently I have connection. Is the only one available. I don't have much connections actually. But actually third-party connections available if you have a right Einstein, because my Einstein is a basic Einstein one. If you have an Einstein Growth or Einstein Plus, so you will get a much more connectors available. You can connect to W, you can connect to Oracle, SAP, Marketing Cloud, and PostgreSQL database, and a couple of other fancy items. So you can connect that third-party data and then create a data sets as well. So this way you can create a data sets. Many ways you can create a data sets inside Einstein platform. That's what my intention here I would like to showcase. You see, once you have a data sources available and you could see the respective Salesforce data, the one which I've taken that account, and you see the default Salesforce flow. I can showcase that. This is the default Salesforce flow. So via this as well, you can create a data set as well. The flow is nothing but an ETL, guys. ETL, just an ETL tool. So let me bring. Yeah, it's taking time to load. But yeah, I think through data flow also, that my intention that I would like to say is through data flow also, you could create a data set, because whenever any data flow runs, let's take an example of this one, right? The B2B marketing analytics. This is one of the data flow you can see here, which I have run this, and all these flow, different kind of a nodes, different kind of a digits has been run, and automatically the data will be produced here through data sets. See here. All these are nothing but data sets. You can see the number of rows that what has been created so far, right? So that's the intention where on many ways, how many number of different ways you can create a data set. So these are all the ways you can create a data set for your requirement. Once you create a data set, what will happen next? So the one which I've showcased. Once you have data sets available, so let's join the data sets base. Let's join the data sets. How you join the data sets normally? So you could join the data sets by using a recipe or by using a data flows as well. So there is a requirement saying that hey Funny, let's combine both emails and campaigns and then brings out of some kind of an analytics. So the sample use case where I have a parted visitors available, parted forms and form handlers. So combining of these data sets will give you a result of full understanding of the conversions GAs from submission by campaigns. At the same time, I can combine both data sets, emails and campaigns, and the result will give you the effectiveness of the emails and campaign performance, as well as the CTR effects as well, right? Let's do how to connect both the data sets. Let's go to the recipe. Recipe is nothing but to connecting of the multiple data sets, and then you could leverage and you can create a perfect data set for your requirement. I'm going to add input data. So here what I'm talking about, the one which I what they told visitors as well as forms and form handlers. Pick the visitors, pick the forms and form handlers. So I pick both the data sets here, and I'll get all the number of fields available in the data set, and I can click on next. So once I click on next, you can see here. So I have information, visitors are available, form handlers are available. So here, what I do is I'm gonna connect this with. You want to join, you want to filter some data, you want to build a transformations, or you want to build any kind of an append with any other data sets, right? So what I can do is I'm gonna do a transformation. So this transformation, I'm gonna look at the preview of the data. So I'll get a campaign name, campaign ID, the stage of the respective data set, start date, campaign ID, tags, and visitors. So once I get this information, I'll go and then I'll just add one more data. I'll add one more input data set. So let me add forms and form handlers. Oh, I already added this. Let me do this. So here I have a common information available, the campaign name. So it automatically gets the information here, the campaign name which I have taken. So I've taken the lookup, the information that what is available under the forms, only the pick the information around available in the forms and form handlers. So once I get the information, I have the join key available with the campaign name. I click on apply. So once I click on apply, and then I can go a little bit handlers, then what I can do is I'm gonna design an output. So this output is available here. So this is a final output that what I get based on the campaign name. For one website tracking email plugin, I'll get 2 visitors. For these campaigns, I'll get a visitors information for this campaign ID. So what I do is I'm gonna choose the data set. You wanna write to the data set or you want to write to the CSV. So I'll choose a data set here. I'll choose a label, maybe demo VGA October 1st. I'm gonna automatically API name. I'm gonna choose same API. I'm gonna keep in my private app. I'm gonna put some, you can see here, you can apply some row level security predicates as well to have some predicate filters where the other people with the different profiles not gonna be see your data as well. So this way you can leverage any kind of security as well. When I click on this, click on apply. So once I click on apply, then what I can do is I can go and then I can click on save. But here it will showing as the recipe has 2 errors that will prevent it from running successfully. Do you want to continue and save the recipe? I click on continue, but I'll keep the recipe name maybe VGA 30th 1st of October. I click on save. Right, but let me close this. So let me append. I want to leverage this as well. Same thing, I'm going to delete this. Let's delete both the nodes so that we'll have some information available. Now I deleted all the nodes. I've done the transformation. I've connected both the data sets with forms and form handlers with the, with the unique of campaign name. I've joined both the data sets with the unique. So you have 2 things actually. So you want to leverage a lookup to the campaign name, or you want to keep the different kind of a join type. If you want to keep the inner join will give you the matching rows of the respective part.visitors to the part.form and form handlers. And you have a different option where you can choose right based on your requirement. So for now, what I've done is I've choose the lookup, the only lookup information. I click on apply. Once I click on apply, I click on save and run. So once I click on save and run, what will happen is it automatically available under your monitoring screen. Under monitoring, you can see it automatically start running with VGA 1st of October. Once it ran automatically, you will see one new data set will be created with the same name in the backend. Let me showcase that. So So it started with a few information. Within fraction of seconds, it will go, and then so this is the way that you can combine the data sets and then build one, build the use case data set finally, and then you could build a sophisticated visualization as well. Let me see if anyone has any questions. Can you provide analytics view on permission? Can I know opt-in? Opt-out, opt-in is nothing but opt-out is something where you can opt out from the communication. If you receive any email, right, when you click on opt-out, so you won't receive any communication from the Pardot system. Opt-in is nothing but to re-opt-in again to receive any kind of an email notification. Is there any difference between opt-out and do not email? It's a good question. So opt-out is nothing but a hard thing, like, so there are a couple of things where you have a preference page, right, where some of the products where you would like to receive notifications, some of the products where you don't want to receive notifications, right? So the opt-out is nothing but to have a forcefully opt-out for all the communications, but do not email is nothing but any other announcement that you want to see. There are communication activities, one with the promotional activities, one with the normal engagement activities. So those two are categorized under do not email. So you can choose a respective one where you do not want to receive. So the other communication emails will go and flow into your inbox. You see here the entire recipe has been successfully ran, and you could see under this, what is the data set has been created in the backend. So let's go back and then check the data and check the respective. You can see demo VGA, 18, 19 rows has been created. Let's go to this, the data set what I created. And from here, you have an ability that you could just download this entire JSON, leverage for going forward. If you want to clone this entire data set, or if you want to replace or anything, so you can leverage this as well. So from here, what I can do is I'll go here. I'll go to my Einstein. I'll go back to my home screen. I'll click on shade. I've kept in my private app, right? You can see the demo VGA today. I click on dataset with the 1849 rows. And from here, what I can leverage is I'm going to choose the respective measures. I want to see something total conversions. So I see point, no, I've taken average, right? My bad. Let me put the back to the count. Right, I'm going to choose a different thing. It started with maybe a campaign name. So I have different campaigns, and out of which I'm going to pull something, a stage, visitors. We'll have a visitor stage. So from here, where you can have different lenses which you can build, and then you can build a dashboard as well. So to build a dashboard, especially, you can just click on this and then click on dashboard. And from here, I'm going to build a normal dashboard actually. So I'm going to leverage a couple of details. So here, I'm going to bring my data set today, the one which I created. And from here, I'm going to use, maybe I'm going to use my, how many number of conversions happens with each and every campaign name, right? So here I want to use some different charts altogether, maybe the basic charts, or where you want to use the values table as well if you want. So here I'm going to leverage this chart, and then I'm going to leverage unique clicks, out of which all these campaigns. Okay, it's already showing one. Let me delete this. I'm going to use an average conversion rate. But have different conversion rates, but let me find out some other. Yep, so let me use this for now, and I can showcase some other dashboard. So here I want to build one single lens for this dashboard. At the same time, I'm going to leverage another dashboard. Maybe I'm going to drag and drop a different dashboard altogether. And then I'm going to use a different data set. I don't want this data set. Maybe I'm going to use maybe another data set, maybe this one, Pardot visitors. So here I'm going to use a group by. So I can use maybe group by campaign name with the stage. I think it only gives the visitors. It's the same thing. I'm going to use trellis to select the asset name with the stage. right? So I could get all this information, but I don't like this chart. Let's go with the different kind of a chart, maybe the stack one, or maybe a different timelines. So different guys. So this will perfect for conversions. So I'm going to pick this, but I want to enlarge this information, right? So you can see the out of which what is the percentage of the tracking plugins for different campaigns. So like this, so you can build so many kind of dashboards as per the one which I've explained. You can have a dig deep into joining the data sets and then build the respective. I've showcased the build a new data set with recipes and adding multiple data sets and then bring one type of result, one kind of a data set, and then you could build a different kind of dashboards as well, complete conversions or complete submissions of the campaign, right? So the same thing what I've showcased building a dashboard as well. So I picked the template. So I normally pick the blank dashboard, but you have an option to pick the existing template as well. But I choose a blank dashboard, and after that I've choose my lens to create it. The lenses that what I created in the dashboard, and I've chosen a couple of widgets as well. So you can see the different widgets that what I've showcased, and you have an information, you have an available couple of widgets, other widgets as well. So if you want to use different widgets, maybe Donut, but I don't want to use this Trello. Let me pull. So I want to use Segmentize with maybe Stage. I only have one visitor. So that's the only stage that what I have, because I picked the stages, visitors dashboard, the visitors data set, right? But I have a campaign, but it gives the campaign information as well. So you could use this kind of reports and this kind of a visualization chart and then play around it. And at the same time, you could get to know the complete widgets information, and you can have the filters to be helpful for multiple. And within this, you can have an ability which you could add some filters as well. You want to keep maybe the conversions which is less than or starting with 0 ending with 2. You can apply that, or you can see the conversions 1.7 or something, and it gives a different information altogether, right? So you can use the filters to to apply the filters and get the relevant information, right? So you can put some naming conventions as well, like so if you want to keep this average of total, because if somebody want to understand your report and dashboard, you have to name specifically mention to understand the better visibility and understanding of the marketing. So from here, if you want to see, what you can do is you can leverage either this a kind of a thing to add maybe a different kind of, put some text, campaign conversions, right? And then you can add some widget style as well. So you can have any background color with this, and any kind of maybe border colors or anything that you wish to add, like, right? So like this, you can have perfect naming conventions as well, right? And apart from this, you can have much more information, the previews and finalists. Once you build complete data, so what you can do is for preview, just click on the preview, and you can preview your entire lenses with the respective dashboard as well, right? And apart from this, you could have the one which have deep dive all the information. So far, any questions, guys? So that I'll move into the best practices if you don't have any questions. So let me see if anybody have any questions. Yeah, there's a specific GDPR for regulations with the regional wise, so you have to go and then check it out with the legal process. Is the dashboard as same as Salesforce dashboards? Can filter apply? As we can, but specific rules. Yeah. I think that's fine. Thanks, Prashant. Okay, so before jumping into best practices, so I'm going to showcase the out-of-the-box dashboards available as a part of the B2B analytics. So let's see what are all the dashboards available. As I said initially, so we have out-of-the-box, there are some 5 dashboards available. One with engagement. The engagement which showcases the best out of the breed, where it gives you the details about the list email engagement, email template, forms engagement, landing pages engagement as well. See one single screen where you can see all this emails from the last 2 years, at what are all the campaigns that I have, what are all the tags that I've designed for different kind of tags that I've used at the time of email design campaign, right? So from here you can see the number of list email engagement I've done, 4 list emails. 13 list emails, and total, which you can see unique click rate, through rate, open rate, and the open rates as well. At the same time, email template engagement, the unique clicks, CTR, opens, open rate. So all this information available. Forms engagement as well, the number of views, submissions, submission rate, conversions, right? At the same time, landing pages as well. So unique sum of unique views of the landing page engagement. So this is one of the engagement dashboard. The other dashboards comes up with account-based marketing. Account-based marketing is nothing but your complete account details within the Salesforce instance. So this is one of the important dashboard for especially our internal sales and BDMs. So they want to check it out, and by your entire marketing, you spend on so much of you spend so much of revenue with the campaigns listed with list emails, marketing emails, templates, and all this stuff, right? So see here, you spend the pipeline value that what you have, a number of opportunities open, and the number of customers that what you gain so far. What is the average engagement score that what you have? Number of sales activities, pipeline value by different accounts, how much revenue that has been generated, sales activities by account, engagement score by account, number of opportunities with different kind of status, stage value by account, and the raw information as well. Look at the number of year. It gives all the details about your raw information. At the same time, the number of time spent on the sale, especially on each activities here, right? So this is one of the good account-based one to understand the pipelines and revenues, as well as stage of account and each and every amount that what is being flown inside the opportunity. And after that, you could have information about marketing manager, especially for the marketing managers. So the marketing managers, where you can get the marketing pipeline health, which details about the respective opportunities with stages, how many number of opportunities are in pipeline, what is the revenue has been generated, what is the pipeline amount has been currently ingested within the Salesforce, and happen within currently available within Salesforce, and what is the average conversion to close for each and every opportunity, and the revenue by campaigns as well, and the engagement health as well, email engagement, top forms, landing page completions, and all the details. Now after that, we can go this is one of the multi-touch attribution that gives you the details about the revenue share by campaign type with different channels and the sorts of channels. You have different channels, especially with different campaigns, and you could understand from email how much revenue, and for events, others, and either social media, you could see the number of revenue generated with respect to each and every channel, and the revenue has been flown from top to bottom, which gives the total value of your opportunity and the costing and the revenue of interest as well. You have different filters as well here, of course. And you can see the pipeline. The pipeline is nothing but the life cycle of entire snapshot about your sales and the marketing pipeline. The visitors are coming into your system. The number of prospects has been generated for the last 2 years. The MQLs like marketing qualified leads, sales qualified leads, a number of opportunities has been won. You see the pipeline breakdown. You have total value, pipeline, revenue, cost, number of value, open opportunities, campaigns, again, marketing sourced pipelines, lead sources, So all is the best of the breed again, that what I can see. So these all the things like, so these are all the out of the box dashboards available inside Salesforce marketing B2B analytics app. Most of the folks can be leveraged by these dashboards, but as I said, based on the requirement, I can go and then I could build some kind of a recipes in order to get the customer requirement and then build a data set. And then once I build a data set, I could build sophisticated lenses and dashboards for the customer. So it's very simple. It's just a ETL tool. You could just use your brains to connect it together with the multiple data sets and then provide a final data set as an output, and then use the data set for building a visualized dashboards as well, right? That's where most of the entire B2B works. So this is a completion of entire deep dive, guys, for start to end. But let's focus on some of the best practices that what we really need to be follow as a part of this entire exercise. Let's jump into it and then get the best practices. Let's see if any questions anyone have. Yes, dynamic dashboards are also available in Pardot. You just use this complete Salesforce, and then you have a automatically, let's simple example, Madhukar. So when I go back, right, let me go to the sales. Of course, if dynamic dashboards are available with respect to users, what I can do is you just need to, there are, when you click on edit page, right, in the page in the Lightning App Builder, you have an ability that you could have an Einstein analytics components available. You just drag and drop the component and then you can display the component. And after the component display, you can apply the filters as well. Let's use the filters with the current running user, the logged in user, the logged in user information about the opportunities. And I mean, every dashboard won't work, but some of the dashboards will definitely work. Let's suppose you see a WCRM dashboard. Just drag and drop here. Use the user or use the permissions as well to control the permissions relevant to the concerned people. Okay, so the dynamic dashboard where you're talking about, so you could still achieve it using the filters as well. And if you want to more, then let's leverage security predicates as well. Okay. Yeah, any questions, Madhukar, apart from this? Okay, great. So let's go and then let's look into the best practices that what we normally follow. Let me share my screen again. I'll go to the bigger one. So when we really talk about in our different scenarios, right? So people comes up saying that, hey, Funny, I think the approach that what we follow is little different because marketing manager asked me, can you change the trend of the approach, like, because out of the box available, that's okay, but I want to see something like more conversions with respect to each and every campaign that will be yielded to the highest number of conversions in quarter 4, quarter 7 or something, or quarter 4, quarter 3, so the simple thing where how people when see as, okay, let me find out the visitors data set and then let's use the measures as average of conversions and group by campaign with data statistics state with quarter wise. So this is a simple way that you can go and then do it in within fraction of minutes, right? This is the kind of approach that we normally go. First of all, we have to make a practice makes perfect, that one which we follow all the time. So when you first starts with, everybody is a blank space saying that how it works, and I really don't know how to create a data set. What is the lens? What is the digest? What is the node? What is the security predicate? What are all the measures? Conversions group by. So as a person, I'm not comes with a I really don't know as a person, right? But when I go practice all the time, learn something in Trailhead and then look all the options, I come to know the comfortability with the UI. Trailhead is the best one. You look at your comfort and check the complete view of the entire Trailhead exercise. Look at the Einstein, look at the Salesforce UI. So you will get a, that's where Salesforce spends so much of revenue on the UI and the design, because something like me where I don't have an interest to learn or something, but looking at the UI, you have some kind of a glimpse to, okay, let's do something learning, because the UI really looks good. That's where the real feel comes. And then to get started with Einstein. Second thing, you have to familiarize yourself with the multitude of data options available. So data options, nothing but you have a data, you have some kind of a sense where the data will come from. Data that I need to ingest from CSV, data that I need to came from Salesforce objects, data I need to get from building a data set or as such, right? And you need to understand your complete analytics, talk to the right folks, get some understanding on the use cases, and learn the precision with your questions, where ask a lot of questions and understand what type of lens or dashboard that are most useful to your end users. Get some information from them, write in a complete book, and then, right? So these are all the practices where makes you a complete a perfect person, and these are all the elements where I normally follow to understand. That's where Salesforce has gone beyond all CRMs. That's where we spend a lot of stuff in the UI, right? Yeah. So when you want to go and then when you sit in a customer, let's ask a lot of questions. Let's ask a lot of inputs. Brainstorm together. Put the goals, good the potential questions with all end users. Review usefulness and relevance periodically, and then adjust as needed as whenever you want. Right. So what is information that is really useful for you based on the requirement? Let's learn it and then brainstorm it, and then build some sample lenses dashboards, and then get initial feedback from the customer, and then take the feedback, create a working, and just work on the same lenses and dashboards. So this is a process where we follow normally. Let's do something and then do a better out of it. Right. So that's it, guys. I think some of the information where you can go and then get some kind of a sessions as well from Pardot. There are some open office hours available, new user or use topic hours, and live training session from the experts, webinars, certifications. A lot of stuff is going on with the Pardot. So there are there are daily office hours available. So let's go and then figure it out how to join, and I can paste the link as well, and then you could go and then check it out, all the information about Pardot, and join the sessions and learn something good. So this is a Trailblazer community for B2B marketing automation. So please feel free to join, and then there are so many experts available. Ask all your questions, and I'm really happy that Madhukar asked a lot of questions. I appreciate for that as well. And just join this group, and then join the VGA group as well, Vijayawada community group, and then get some lot of information as well. So these are resources for B2B marketing analytics. Get started with B2B dataset breakdown, building your own dashboard, and a couple of insights available. A lot of Excel data is available for Pardot. So I'll happy to help you. And again, you can get my LinkedIn, and then you can post me all the questions that whatever you want to ask, not only for the Pardot, but you can ask me anything on the Part Salesforce. I can happy to help you as well. Again, a big thanks for everyone, and a big thanks to Prashant, the Pardot group leader, and thanks for the giving opportunity, Prashant. I think it's a good session, a lot of questions as well. Thank you again. So let me see if any questions for the participants.
Thanks, Funny, for the section. I don't find any. If there aren't any, then we can have the quiz. So, guys, thanks for staying till now. Actually, this was a wonderful session, Funny. Thank you very much for that, and it was very quite informative as well. Okay. Let me stop the record.